Most people have dreams. Very few fight for them. We get stuck in cycles of delay, waiting for motivation, seeking approval, hoping someone else will notice our effort or hand us an opportunity. We drift through life with inconsistent focus, fragile discipline, and minds distracted by opinions, comfort, and fear. And slowly, our dreams fade, not because we weren't capable, but because we weren't committed. Own your dream. Own Your Life is here to break that pattern. This book isn't about hype or feel-good slogans. It's a solution for anyone who feels stuck, overlooked, or tired of starting over. It teaches you how to reclaim control over your life, build unshakable discipline in silence, and take full responsibility for your vision, even when no one believes in it but you. Because here's the truth. If you don't take ownership of your dream, no one else will. Chapter 1. Own your dream. No one else will fight for your dream. Not your friends. Not your family. Not the world. Your dream is yours. Personal, powerful, and fragile. If you don't take full ownership of it, the world won't pause to ask why you gave up. Life will just keep moving forward, with or without you. It's easy to wait. Easy to hope. Easy to believe that one day, someone will come along to push you, believe in you, or open the right door. But here's the truth. No one is coming. People are busy surviving. They're focused on their own lives, their own goals, their own pain. That's not selfish. It's reality. So if your dream matters to you, stop whispering about it. Speak it with conviction. Stop hoping for it. Work for it. Don't treat it like a hobby. It's your calling. Don't let it live in the maybe. Make it your must. You have a choice to make. A real one. Not the kind you make after a motivational video. The kind you make deep inside when no one's watching. A decision that says, this is my life. This is my path. I will walk it, no matter who claps, no matter how long it takes. That kind of ownership doesn't wait for perfect timing. It creates momentum through action. You don't need permission. You don't need validation. You need to believe in yourself first and back that belief with discipline. If your dream is inside you, that's all the sign you need. It means it's possible. It means it's yours. Now it's time to own it. Chapter 2. Take full responsibility. You will never build a powerful life while waiting to be saved. No mentor, no partner, no opportunity will fix your future for you. You're not stuck because you lack potential. You're stuck because you've been waiting instead of owning. Most people waste years expecting someone to notice them. They think if they work hard enough in silence, maybe someone will swoop in and give them their big break. But here's what life teaches. Breakthroughs don't get delivered. They get earned. Yes, support helps. Yes, encouragement feels good. But neither of those can carry your life forward unless you do. The moment you stop expecting help, you unlock power. You stop blaming. You stop waiting. You stop hoping. And you start building. Responsibility is not a burden. It's freedom. Because when you own your actions, you also own your future. You stop being at the mercy of other people's opinions, timelines, and limitations. You become the one in control, the one who doesn't wait for motivation, but creates it through movement. Ask yourself honestly, are you really doing what needs to be done? Or are you secretly hoping someone will notice your struggle and lift you out? Because even if someone does show up, even if someone gives you a shot, you won't be able to keep it unless you've built the discipline to hold it. That's why this chapter of your life requires a shift. From expecting to executing. From hoping to owning. From waiting for change to becoming it. Your goals are not waiting for a savior. They're waiting for you. Chapter 3. Work in silence. Most people want to be seen while they build. They want recognition, applause, and validation for the effort they're putting in. But real growth, the kind that changes your life, doesn't come with an audience. It comes in silence, in private, behind closed doors. You need to learn how to shut the door and focus, not just on the outside world, but on the noise inside your own head, the distractions, the doubt, the craving to check your phone, to scroll, to see if anyone noticed what you posted yesterday. You don't need another update. You don't need another opinion. You need clarity. And clarity comes from consistent effort, not constant exposure. There's a power that only forms when you stop trying to be seen and start becoming someone worth seeing. That Power grows every time you choose discipline over attention. Show up when no one is watching. Get to work without needing a reward. This is the part where most people quit. Not because they're lazy, but because they never learn how to build without praise. We live in a world addicted to feedback, likes, comments, reactions. And when those things don't come, people assume the work isn't working. But you're different. You're not working for likes. You're working for life. You're not building to impress. You're building to align with who you want to become. And that kind of process, it's slow, it's quiet, it's boring sometimes, but it's powerful. The early stages of anything meaningful look like nothing from the outside. No applause, no celebration, just you and the work, over and over again. And if you're not okay with being unseen, unheard, and unnoticed for a while, you'll never get to the point where the results speak so loudly that you no longer have to. Let them wonder what you're doing. Let them question why you've gone quiet. Let them talk, because while they're watching others, you're becoming someone they never saw coming. Real momentum doesn't start in public. It starts in the dark, when you stop performing and start preparing, when you put your head down and do the work that no one wants to do, the lonely reps, the early mornings, the quiet evenings, the discipline that no one celebrates. Unrewarded work is where the separation happens. While most people are busy explaining themselves, you're investing in your vision. While they chase reactions, you're building foundation. While they wait for a crowd, you're becoming unstoppable one silent step at a time. And here's the truth most won't tell you. When it's real, you don't have to broadcast it. You don't have to prove anything. You just keep showing up. And eventually, the results will speak for themselves, louder than any words ever could. But don't do it for the noise. Don't do it for the recognition. Do it because it's who you are. Someone who doesn't just dream, but disciplines. Someone who doesn't just hope, but executes. Someone who's not waiting to be seen, but is busy becoming. So shut the door, cut the noise, build in silence, and let your future speak when it's ready. Chapter 4, Reject Average. There comes a point in every journey where you must draw a line, a quiet but powerful decision that says, I'm done settling. Done saying this is good enough. Done blending in when you were built to stand out. Average doesn't demand much from you. It doesn't require risk. It doesn't push your limits. And that's exactly why it's dangerous. Average is sneaky. It hides behind comfort. It lets you feel like you're moving, even when you're just going in circles. You repeat the same routines, have the same conversations, live the same days, all while convincing yourself you're doing okay. But okay is not why you're here. You didn't make it through heartbreak, setbacks, and disappointments just to coast. You didn't overcome your past just to get by. You didn't survive for survival's sake. You made it here for growth, for impact, for more. And you know it. You feel it. That discomfort you carry, that's not failure. That's the quiet pain of untapped potential. It whispers when your goals don't scare you anymore. It speaks louder when you say, I'll do better later, but later never comes. It grows every time you choose easy over effort. But here's the truth. You don't break from failure. You break from average. Every day you allow average to stay in your life, it becomes more familiar. It becomes your new standard. It shapes your mindset. It bleeds into your schedule, your circle, your confidence. And one day, you wake up surrounded by comfort, but disconnected from purpose. That ends here. You don't change your life by chance. You change it by raising your standards. You decide that mediocrity is no longer acceptable. You raise the bar so high that even you feel challenged by it. And you stop waiting for motivation to strike. Because now, discipline is a default. This isn't about perfection. It's about integrity. It's about being honest with yourself. Are you giving what you're capable of? Or just enough to feel like you tried? Stop calling it effort when you know you held back. Stop labeling it progress when it's just motion. Stop settling when your soul was built to soar. Raise your voice. Raise your goals. Raise the way you treat your time, your energy, your habits. Because average only survives when you let it. It can't hold on to someone who's chosen to outgrow it. And here's what happens when you truly reject average. You start to see differently. You stop tolerating wasted time. You cut off empty conversations. You stop saying yes to things that drain you. You stop shrinking to fit into lives you've already outgrown. And you begin to rise. You gain self-respect. You gain clarity. You gain alignment with the version of you that doesn't settle. This is the moment where you stop pretending, where you stop waiting, where you stop negotiating with comfort. This is the moment where you decide, average is not for me. And from that decision forward, everything changes. Chapter 5. Show up when it's hard. Some days, you'll wake up and feel powerful, focused, unstoppable. But other days, you'll feel heavy, exhausted, lost, not just in your body, but in your mind. That's life. And those off days, they're not the problem. They're the training ground. The real test of who you're becoming isn't measured by how you perform when you feel great. It's measured by how you show up when you don't. Because it's easy to act committed when motivation is high. It's easy to follow your routine when you're rested, excited, encouraged. But true discipline, the kind that builds something lasting, is forged in the friction, when you show up tired, when no one's watching, when nothing feels right, but you still do what needs to be done. This is what separates the wishers from the builders. If you only act when you feel like it, your progress will always be inconsistent. And inconsistency breeds frustration. You start wondering what's wrong with you. You question whether you're even meant to do this. You think, maybe I'm just not built for it. But it's not that you're weak. It's that you've been taught to wait for feelings. You've been conditioned to expect ease. And life doesn't reward the ones who wait. It rewards the ones who work, especially when it's hard. You need to build the habit of showing up anyway. Not because you feel strong, but because your future depends on it. Discipline means this. You wake up tired, but you show up. You feel uncertain, but you take the next step. You want to quit, but you keep the promise. You're not in the mood, but you follow through. Because the version of you that you admire, the one living the life you want, they didn't get there by being comfortable. They got there by showing up when it sucked, when it was lonely, when nothing made sense. That version of you is not built through perfect days. It's built in the grind, in the ordinary, in the repetition. No audience, no applause, just decision after decision after decision to keep moving forward. You don't need to win every day. You just need to show up every day. You don't need to crush every task. You just need to refuse to disappear. Progress isn't always loud. Sometimes it's quiet. One step, one page, one workout, one difficult conversation. You stack those small wins until they become momentum. And that momentum becomes confidence. Not the fake kind, but the earned kind, the kind that can't be taken away. Because you didn't fake your way into it. You built it. You showed up for it through the fog, the fatigue, the fear. And every time you do that, your mind learns a new message. I keep my promises, even when it's hard. I don't fold under pressure. I don't wait for perfect conditions. I create progress. There's power in that, a power most people never unlock. Not because they can't, but because they won't face themselves when it gets hard. But you can. You must. This world doesn't need more people who only move when it's easy. It needs people who rise when it's hard. People who can carry weight. People who are dependable, not just others, but to themselves. Because here's the truth. Your dream doesn't care how you feel today. It doesn't ask, are you in the mood? It asks, are you committed? And if the answer is yes, you show up. Even when it's slow. Even when it's silent. Even when it's invisible. Especially then. That's where the breakthrough lives. In the decision to act when no one would blame you for resting. In the refusal to quit when you have every excuse to do so. So don't confuse weakness with failure. Feeling off doesn't mean you're off course. Feeling low doesn't mean you're broken. It just means you're human and still capable of incredible things. You just need to take the next step. Not because it's glamorous. Not because it's celebrated. but because that step is what makes you stronger. That's what today is. A test. And how you respond, not how you feel, is what shapes your future. So show up for your goal, for your growth, for the person you promised you'd become. Even when it's hard, especially when it's hard, you show up anyway. Chapter 6. Do the work nobody claps for. We live in a world obsessed with recognition. People want to be seen, to be acknowledged, to be applauded. But here's the truth. Most of the work that changes your life will be done in silence. No one will cheer. No one will post about it. No one will know. And that's exactly why most people never become who they're capable of becoming. Because they won't do the work unless someone's watching. But greatness? Greatness is built in private. It's built in the early mornings when the world is still asleep. In the late nights when your body is tired but your dream still burns. In the boring repetitions, the unrewarded tasks, the daily disciplines no one else sees. Anyone can work when the lights are on. But who are you when the lights are off? When there's no applause, no feedback, no instant gratification. That's the real test. Because results don't show up right away. You'll put in effort today and hear nothing. You'll grind for months before anyone notices. You'll question yourself, your path, your pace. And in those moments, quitting will feel like relief. But quitting is just a fast track to regret. You're not here to be impressive. You're here to be effective. Let everyone else chase attention. You chase alignment. Let them talk. Let them perform. Let them broadcast their half-done work just to get a few likes. You keep building when no one claps. Because you're not building for noise. You're building for legacy. Here's the uncomfortable truth. Most of your progress will go unnoticed until it can't. Until one day, people ask, how did you get there? What changed? What's your secret? And you'll know there was no secret. Just 1,000 unsexy decisions. Just a mountain of quiet effort. Just hours, weeks, and months of doing the work nobody clapped for. That's what made you dangerous. Most people start with excitement and stop when it fades. They get high on motivation, but never build momentum. They confuse energy with endurance. And the moment things feel slow, they tap out. But momentum lives in the mundane, in the reps, in the stillness, when it feels like you're doing nothing. But deep down, you're becoming someone entirely new. And you won't see it all at once. It won't be dramatic. There will be no parade. But one day, your reflection will catch up to your work. Your habits will form your identity. And you'll realize you need applause. You just needed consistency. So keep showing up when you're tired, when you're doubting, when you don't feel motivated, when it's quiet, especially when it's quiet. Because that's where character is built. Not on the stage, but in the shadows. You're not training for attention. You're training for impact. You're not here to prove anything to anyone. You're here to become unshakable. And that version of you, that focused, reliable, resilient version, they are born in the quiet. So stop measuring progress by applause. Measure it by integrity. By how often you show up when no one's keeping score. By how many promises you keep to yourself. By how much energy you give to what matters. Even when it's invisible to everyone else. Because the invisible effort, that's what builds the visible results. And when the day comes, when the world finally sees what you've been building, you won't need to say a word. Your life will speak for you. But for now, embrace the silence. Do the work. Stack the reps. Build the foundation. And remember, if you keep going long enough, the work no one sees becomes a life everyone admires. Chapter 7. Choose growth over comfort. Growth and comfort do not live in the same place. Asterisk, asterisk. That's a truth most people don't want to face. It's easy to say, I want to change my life. It's easy to set goals, make vision boards, write plans and journals. But the moment the process gets uncomfortable, the moment your schedule tightens, your routines stretch, and your mind resists, most people fold. They run back to what's easy. They label discomfort as a sign that something's wrong. But the only thing wrong is that they expected growth to feel good. Let me tell you this. Real growth feels like pressure. It feels like friction. It feels like discipline dragging you into new territory. It feels like you against your old self. And that battle, it's not supposed to be comfortable. You cannot stay the same and grow at the same time. You cannot hold on to comfort and expect evolution. You cannot live easy and expect to build something extraordinary. Comfort tells you to rest when you should rise. Comfort whispers, it's okay to skip today. Comfort feeds you lies like, you'll do it tomorrow. You've earned a break. This is enough for now. But comfort is a liar, and the more you listen to it, the more you reinforce mediocrity. You teach your mind that avoiding hard things is acceptable. You train yourself to retreat at the first sign of resistance. And before you know it, avoidance becomes your autopilot. You don't realize it at first, but slowly, your tolerance for challenge weakens. You start choosing easy in relationships, easy in goals, easy in effort. And then you wonder why life feels dull, uninspired, and repetitive. It's not your environment. It's not your lack of opportunity. It's your relationship with discomfort. So here's the shift. Discomfort is not the enemy. It's the proof that you're moving in the right direction. Think about it. When you're challenged, your edges expand. When you're tested, your focus sharpens. When you're uncomfortable, you're growing. That awkwardness you feel when pushing past your limit, that's stretching. That fatigue in your body when you follow through, that's conditioning. That self-doubt that rises when you're aiming higher, that's the next level calling you. But none of it lasts unless you quit. And most people do. They quit just before the transformation. They step back into comfort and call it self-care. They call resistance a reason to pause, when it was really a signal to push. Listen closely. There's a difference between rest and avoidance. Rest restores you. Avoidance erodes you. One rebuilds your strength. The other steals your progress. You know the difference. And if you're honest, you've been giving yourself too many soft landings, too many tomorrows, too many breaks that became habits, too many lowered standards disguised as grace. This isn't about guilt. It's about responsibility. You want to grow? Then you have to learn how to sit with discomfort, to welcome it, to work through it, to lean in when your instinct says, run. That's how identity shifts. That's how self-respect is earned. That's how you start becoming someone you're proud of, not just on good days, but every day. Your dream, it won't wait for perfect energy. It won't wait until you feel like it. It's waiting for you to be disciplined enough to push through anyway. So here's the question you must face. Do you want comfort or do you want growth? You cannot have both. The life you want is on the other side of stretching past your excuses, saying no to instant gratification, choosing hard things on purpose. Because when you do that consistently, you change. Not just your results, your identity. You begin to see yourself differently. You build trust with yourself. You stop waiting for things to get easier, and you start getting stronger. And suddenly, what used to feel uncomfortable becomes your new normal. What once scared you becomes your new standard. That's the power of choosing growth. So today and every day after, when you're given a choice between what's easy and what's necessary, choose growth. Not because it's fun, not because it's easy, but because you deserve to become who you were meant to be. Comfort won't give you that, but consistency through discomfort, that's the door. That's the key. That's the path. And it's yours, if you're willing to take it. Chapter 8. Protect what you're building. You have something inside you, an idea, a vision, a dream. It's still forming, still fragile. And if you're not careful, you'll let the world shape it before it's strong enough to stand. Because here's the truth. Most people talk too much about what they're building and listen too much to people who've never built anything. They start with fire in their heart, a deep knowing, a direction that feels personal, purposeful, and real. But then the noise creeps in. Why are you doing that? That's risky. You sure that's realistic? What if it doesn't work? And slowly, if you're not grounded, your dream starts bending, shrinking, softening itself to fit their understanding. But listen carefully. They don't need to understand it. It wasn't given to them. It was given to you. Your vision, your fire, your inner pull, that's sacred. And it doesn't need the approval of people who can't see it. Not everyone is meant to get it. Not everyone is meant to believe. And not everyone is equipped to give advice about something they've never dared to pursue. So protect it. Protect what you're building inside, because it's not ready for everyone's hands. It's not ready for the world's opinions. It's not ready to be judged or reshaped by people who haven't done the work. You're still planting, still growing roots, still becoming. And like a seed in the soil, growth happens beneath the surface first, unseen, unvalidated, but deeply necessary. If you dig it up too soon to prove it's real, you kill the potential. So here's your responsibility. Stop explaining. Start executing. Stop defending. Start building. Let your life speak. Let your results speak. Let your consistency speak. You don't know the world updates. You don't need to justify your journey, because growth isn't always pretty. It's messy. It's confusing. It's filled with detours, rewrites, breakdowns, and breakthroughs. And if you open that process to too many voices, you lose the clarity that started it all. Remember this. Clarity fades in comparison. The more you compare your timeline, your process, your choices with others, the more disconnected you become from your own power. You don't need 10 people's approval. You need one person's alignment, yours. So unplug from the noise. Say no to distractions. Say no to unnecessary input. Say no to environments that drain your belief, because belief is like oxygen in the early stages. If you let others smother it, you'll suffocate your dream before it breathes. This isn't about arrogance. It's about protection. You protect what matters. You protect what's sacred. And your vision, your dream, matters. That means setting boundaries with people, with social media, with your own overthinking. You don't need to overexpose your process. You don't need to document every moment. You don't need everyone to clap before you move forward. Because one day, when the work is visible, when the seed becomes a tree, when the vision becomes results, they'll notice. But by then, you won't need them to, because your strength won't come from their attention. It'll come from the quiet, unshakable, personal foundation you built while no one was watching. So today, and every day after, remind yourself, your dream is real, your vision is valid, your future is yours. Now protect it, build it, own it, and don't let anyone take it from you. Chapter 9. Remind yourself why quitting isn't an option. Quitting is always available. It waits quietly, in the shadows of your worst days, in the corners of your doubt, in the moments when your motivation dries up and your belief grows thin. It doesn't scream. It whispers. Wouldn't it be easier to walk away? And in the middle of the pressure, quitting feels like peace. It feels like release. It feels like the shortcut out of discomfort. But make no mistake, quitting is not relief. Quitting is surrender. It ends your progress. It kills your momentum. It silences your potential. And if you let it happen once, it becomes easier to do again. Then again, and again, you start building a habit of exit. You teach your mind that discomfort is dangerous. That pressure means stop. That tired means done. But here's the truth. You don't grow by stepping out of the storm. You grow by learning how to stand in it. You've made it through too much already to give up now. You've come too far to let a hard week define your future. And every time you feel the pull to quit, you must ask yourself, what am I walking away from if I stop now? Because it's not just a dream. You're walking away from who you could have become. You're choosing a life shaped by regret instead of resilience. Remember why you started, not the surface level reasons, the real ones, the version of you that was tired of feeling stuck, the vision you couldn't shake, the fire that told you, I'm meant for more, the pain that made you say, this cycle ends with me. You didn't begin this journey for comfort. You began it for transformation. And transformation only comes through resistance. So when the pressure mounts and quitting feels close, stop and ask, what if I'm one day away from breakthrough? What if the struggle I'm in right now is shaping exactly who I need to be? What if this isn't a breakdown? It's the final test before the shift. Most people never find out. They stop in the middle. They walk away when it gets dark. They lay down when they were only inches from clarity. But not you. You're still here, reading, listening, thinking, growing. And that means you haven't quit. That means there's still fire. And if the fire is still there, even if it's small, you can build it again. You don't need to feel perfect to keep going. You just need to refuse to back down. You don't need to see the full path. You just need to take the next step, especially when it's hard. Progress is not built by convenience. It's built by commitment, by the kind of consistency that says, I show up even when I'm tired. I keep going even when I'm discouraged. I won't stop just because it's hard. That's who you are becoming. Not fragile, not reactive, but relentless. So burn the escape plan. Break the habit of quitting. There is no, if this doesn't work. There is no, maybe I'll try again someday. There is only this. You either build it or you regret it. Every step you take now is shaping your story. And you get to decide, will this be the chapter where you let go? Or the one where you rise? You don't owe perfection. You owe persistence. And one day, you look back and say, that was the day I didn't quit. That was the day everything changed. So hold the line. Take the next breath. Make the next move. You've got more in you than you think. And the future you're fighting for, it's still waiting, right on the other side of this moment. Chapter 10. Keep choosing your dream. Dreams don't die overnight. They fade slowly, silently when you stop choosing them. At first, you're fired up. You feel inspired, committed, ready to run. But over time, the energy fades. The excitement fades. And the resistance begins. You start to wonder, is this worth it? Why does it feel so hard? Why does no one understand what I'm trying to do? And if you're not careful, that wonder turns into withdrawal. You stop showing up. You let the vision go quiet. You shrink. But let me tell you something important. Your dream doesn't stop mattering just because other people don't see it. It doesn't stop being valid just because the path is lonely. And it doesn't stop being possible just because the progress is slow. If it matters to you, then it's enough. That's all the permission you'll ever need. You don't need applause. You don't need agreement. You don't need a cheering section. You need discipline. You need vision. You need the courage to say, I will keep choosing my dream. Not once, not sometimes, but every single day. Choosing your dream means protecting it from doubt, even when that doubt comes from the people closest to you. Especially when it comes from you, you have to remind yourself, this was given to me. This dream lives inside my soul. They don't have to get it. It's not their responsibility to believe in it. It's mine. Stop trying to explain what only your future self will understand. Stop lowering your vision just to avoid judgment. Stop letting temporary opinions steal your long-term potential. You don't owe anyone comfort at the cost of your calling. Yes, you'll lose people. Yes, you'll be misunderstood. Yes, some will say you've changed. But you're not here to stay the same. You're here to become. You're not here to fit into who they expect you to be. You're here to grow into who you were born to be. And that path, it's not paved with easy days. It's paved with relentless choice. You choose your dream. When the room is empty, when the bank account is low, when the results are invisible, when no one is clapping, when your own voice is the only one left saying, keep going, that's when it counts the most. That's when your future is built. Because choosing your dream isn't a one-time decision. It's not something you do when you're inspired. It's something you live moment by moment, breath by breath, decision by decision. So when the day gets heavy, choose it again. When the doubt comes back, choose it again. When the doors stay closed, choose it again. Because one day, those doors will open. One day, the results will appear. And one day, the people who question you will say, I always knew you had it in you. But by then, it won't matter. Because you didn't do it for them. You did it for the version of you who refused to quit. You did it for the life you knew was waiting. You did it because you made a promise to yourself, and you kept it. So keep choosing. Keep building. Keep believing. Own your dream. Own your life. And never stop becoming the person who refuses to give it up. Conclusion. Your life will not change just because you have a dream. Your life will change because you choose to act consistently, deliberately, and relentlessly, even when no one believes in you, notices you, or supports you. Own Your Dream. Own Your Life is not just a book about dreaming big. It's a call to take full responsibility, to break the cycles of waiting and blaming, to stop seeking validation from others and start building from within. Across 10 chapters, you face the truth many avoid. No one will fight for your life but you, but in that truth lies an incredible freedom. You don't need anyone's permission to be great. You've learned that discipline matters more than motivation, that the real work happens in silence, not on display. That growth requires discomfort, and you're strong enough to face it. That the loudest voice should be your own, the one that honors your promise to yourself. And most of all, you cannot and will not give up. This book doesn't offer you an easy path. It offers you something better, the power to take control of your own life, one small choice at a time, on ordinary days when it matters most. So after everything you've read, let this truth echo in you. Your dream is valid, your life is valuable, and you are absolutely worth fighting for. Now is the time, not to just believe in your dream, but to fully own it, not for the world, not for recognition, but for you, because in the end, the most powerful thing you can ever do is refuse to give up